You're going to use this lane so that you don't come near the minister. There's a glitch in the body. Yeah.
I'll just take you around. So the other people have already started their discussion, so we'll start this side. How are you? My name is Grace. And her executive assistant sits right here. So let's go. And anytime you're called for meetings or any discussions, shall sit. And interviews take place in here. Oh. The ladies' washroom is the other side. Since you're not a lady, I'll not show you. So, the board manager board sits here. Our head legal and board secretary sits in here. This is Angela, head legal and also board secretary. Our head human resource sits here. Yes, and sorry? Yes, that's Felix. Our security assistant sits here to view the CCTV footage and also to have proposals from incoming. And then the finance, admin, business operations in here. That is him. And then the head investments sits in here. Head investments, Mr. Alan Retabe. And then we have the reception area where you arrive from and you find a very beautiful nice right there. Very beautiful smile. Yes, and this is our administrator's office. Oh, sorry. Then security is in here. Here is the head legal. Come in, please.
Morning. Am I missing you again?
Yeah. Morning.
Nice to see you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Nice offices.
I think that we are all your clients.
I can see.
Yeah.
And then legal issues.
Yeah, legal issues. They're always there. Yeah. So this is
the head of HR. Yes, personnel, all our personnel, and yes, this is where he sits. And then here is the manager of board affairs. So the head legal also handles board affairs, so the manager sits right here. And then the manager finance sits in here, Mr. Tamare sits here. This is our board. And then we will end up with the CEO's office, which is right here. This is where our administrator sits, who is also myself.
oh.
Yes, and this is the CEO's office. She is currently downstairs.
Yes.
But you saw her. Okay. That's very good. So very welcome to the DPF.
Yeah.
And we pray for continued blessings to the business together. Very good. Thank you.
Executive officers, yes. Thank you. Yes.
So we'll go back and continue the festivities.
Then manager we go.
Yes,
No, you're most welcome, sir. Welcome. Good morning. Welcome to the DPF.
I'm not sure. Something I need to see.
My name is Juliet Adam. We will begin from this side. No. We moved in 2000. No, from the beginning. We were at the Bank of Uganda first. Yes, and then we moved
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes. Yes. So this is the communal office. We have all members sitting here. Oh, you were just now. Oh, nice to meet you, sir.
We have a lot of things to do.
Okay.
Yeah, we will come later.
Okay.
Can I have your business card?
Sure.
What I will do, that is in my card.
Yes.
You send a mail or something, then we will come.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So you are responsible for what?
I am the executive assistant. Oh, thank you, sir.
I will just wait.
So, would you like to?
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes.
This is our head, you know? Oh, nice.
I think we are working together.
Yes, we are.
More closely.
Very
There
well.
are a lot of opportunities.
So, this is right. Yes. Yeah. Welcome down, yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
I will just wait here. Where are you entering?
Oh, okay, no, the facilities are down, so yeah, you just tour the offices and
Yeah, yeah.
walk down and
Okay.
we have some to eat.
So you move there, huh?
Morning. Nice to see you again. Nice to see you. Thank you. I think I'm all your clients.
I can see.
Yeah, English. Always there.
This is
This is the head of HR. Yes, this is one of our personnel. This is where he sits. And then here is manager of board affairs. So the head of board and board affairs. So he sits right here. And then the manager of finance sits in here. Mr. Matasare. Sits here. This is our board. And then we will end up with the CEO's office, which is right here. This is where our administrator sits. We go to myself. Yes, and this is the CEO's office. But I have extra copies just in case. This one. You never see this one. Really? You only saw this one. Right It's not actually.
Just tugende. Just tugende.
Hello.
Alex. Yeah, what did you HDMI, original go on one Saturday.
use this moment to finish the guided tour and come back down here to proceed with the rest of the program as we are sharing ourselves. As I say, this year is starting another one for the country in many ways. Program was open, people are doing a sign of relief, but of course we have to progress with caution because the situation is still, as you all know, not exactly very clear, but we have to move on. This DPF, we're also happy that the new year is starting off with this occasion. It's important in many ways. I'm sure you missed the meeting to a few speeches. Where we started from and where we are today. This probably indicates the challenge and where we are going forward. Especially from the financial institutions. I've been monitoring to see those who were here on time and were among the first to arrive. Congratulations very much. The rest of you who are already here, you still need time as well, but it's important to recognize. So in a short moment, we'll be back and we keep appreciating and recognizing those already here as we proceed. Thank you very much.
Switch, so that's the Uganda.
Bobile za HDMI ogenda azo wano wontadde owulidde
Mr. Family from Ghana, most welcome. Miss Veronica Mamagele, Private Microfinance, most welcome. Mr. Samuel Mahali, Top Finance Bank, most welcome. And we are glad to be with you this day. Please make yourselves comfortable as we go on. Thank you once again, and feel at ease and make yourselves as comfortable as possible.
Akweyo kebo zile za HDMI tena zo wanowonkadde owulidde just gone.
Unless you have
but I have extra copies just in case. It's not actually very good. There's a cream here. And it's only going to be here.
should be able to proceed to the other aspects of our duties and engagements. But I'd like to again say, my ushering team, especially the protocol team, I wait for your signal. As soon as I get the signal, we kick off with our official program, and then thereafter, I'll let you know how the rest of the day flows. In the meantime, please feel very free to mix and mingle. The DPF staffers, it would be nice to see that you're engaging our guests. Tell them the story of the fund. Let them know, other than what they read on our platforms, this is a moment to personalize the engagement, talk to our contributing institutions. You never know what kind of feedback you may get. An occasion like this is also an opportunity to get feedback from our stakeholders, and especially the kind of feedback that on the ordinary you may probably not be able to get, but when you get an opportunity like this to network, let's use it, let's maximize it, and let's get the best out of it. As I mentioned earlier, we have done whatever we can, humanly possible, to make sure you're comfortable. The standing ovation is good for our exercise. As I said, in terms of security, you don't have to worry. There's been sufficient levels of preparations to secure the venue. We have an ambulance on standby. In the event, God forbid, that anybody really needs it, I pray it doesn't happen, but you can never know, so even that is well taken care of. So ladies and gentlemen, please continue interacting. I'll be back in a short moment. Amster?
There's there.
You're going to use this lane so that you don't come near the minister. There's a glitch in the body. Yeah.
I've already started the discussion, so we'll start this side. How are you? My name is Grace. And then the executive assistant sits right here. So let's go. They can find your phone for meetings or any discussions. That's it. And the interview stays the same, yeah. The lady will show you the other side since you're not telling me, I'm not sure. So, board manager board is here. Our pending assistant board secretary is here. Angela, head legal, and also board secretary. Our head human resource sits here. Yes, and sorry? Yes, that's Felix. Our security assistant sits here to view the CCTV footage and also to the incoming. Finance, admin. Yeah. And the head investments. Yeah. Mr. Alan Tabe, and then the reception area.
There's who's there?
You're going to use this lane so that you don't come near the minister.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to inform you our guest of honor is here, and we are ready to kick off. I was about to say we have it on good authority. This is what's going to happen. The rest of us will stay here, and the board and top management will accompany the guest of honor to the office on 3rd floor. The rest of you also, you can watch the screens. There's going to be a short ceremony there. And once they come, then we'll proceed with the rest of the program. So my dear guests, please stay here at the reception venue while the board members go to receive our guest of honor for a quick tour of the offices on the 3rd floor. And thereafter, when he comes back, we'll be able to kick off with the program officially. The rest of us, we shall be witnessing what is happening on 3rd floor through the screens that are either beside or in front of you. Ushers, please bring the rest of our guests to the tent. Meanwhile, vehicle number UAY 310D, please kindly go on here. Ladies and gentlemen, the guest is here. Chief guest is with us, and he's now going to be taken up to the office on 3rd floor. While there, he will commission the office symbolically by cutting a tape, sign the visitor's book, and from there he will come back down here for us to proceed with the official ceremonies. Right now, the CEO of DPF, Mrs. Julia Oyet, is introducing the board members to the guest of honor, and thereafter we will be supposed to go up to commission. Board members will accompany our guests. The rest of us, let's follow the goings on there on the screen. Please, the person driving car number UAY 310D. UAY 310D. Whoever is driving that car, kindly go and clear the way. You're inconveniencing a neighbor. You're inconveniencing somebody. Please go and clear the way. UAY 310D. Colleagues in the DPF, the ushering team, breakfast on the left side is served. Can we have the guests pick a cup of coffee as we wait for the chief guests? Let's usher our guests to the serving point on my left, which is ready. Some fruits. At this stage we need it, while the one on the right is being arranged. Simon?
Kale, cho.
My dear guests, please feel very free to pick a juice or a fruit as we wait for the chief guest to come back down. On the screens, as you can see, he is right now signing the visitors' book in the boardroom on our third floor, having cut the tape to officially commission the office of the Deposit Protection Fund. And from there, once the guest and the entourage, accompanied by the board members, returns, we should be able to kick off with this program. And in my heart of hearts, I'm very certain that we'll be able to recover on the few minutes we may have lost, but we should be able to deliver this event in good time, surely. At this stage, the rest of the DPF staffers who were outside, please find your way into the arena where the event is taking place. This is where we are going to have the focus for the day. So it is important that you join us in here. Otherwise, breakfast is served. If you didn't have, pick a cup of coffee, pick some tea, some fruits, and it gives you energy. For the next 1 hour or so, we will come up with wraps, having pulled off what we think is a very memorable day for us. It is not a mean feat to achieve this. It has been efforts of many years, and it is culminating today into what we are experiencing by the launch of this office. Many of you know the story, others may not know it very well, but sooner or later the speaker here will share with you what it is about the Deposit Protection Fund and where in the office and so on and so forth. That will be shared with you very shortly. But in a special way, I would like to again say thank you very much for joining us for this ceremony, and we hope we'll Ladies and gentlemen, the guest of honor is walking into the arena. I'd like us to kind of refocus here receive him as he walks in. You're very welcome, sir. Stairs on the other side. Chairman of the board, may you please join. Governor, may you please join, and CEO. Angela, may I see you for a moment? Protocol team, please bring in my CEO when we start off. Juliet, may you please bring me the CEO here so that we can start off. Ladies and gentlemen, we are good to go as I've indicated earlier. Obviously, we'll start off with the initial protocols. Once the CEO is here, we'll rise up and start with the anthems. And after the anthems, we'll have a short prayer. This is a God-fearing country. It is even in our motto. So every occasion, we usually would like to first place it in the hands of the Almighty so that we are blessed as a community. Our dear guests who have just joined, we're having a rolling breakfast, a rolling coffee. If you feel like having a juice or a fruit, please feel very free to quietly walk to the two ends where the serving points are and serve yourself what you think you'd like to have as of this morning. So, protocol. Please remain upstanding for a short word of prayer.
Let us pray. Lord Almighty, we want to thank you for yet another day that you have given us. We want to thank you for this special day, for the fund. We want to commit the day into your hands. We want to thank you for all the visitors who have joined us. And we ask a special blessing upon them and upon this function. In your name, O Lord, we've prayed. Amen.
I almost tempted to say, please be seated. Then I remembered I should not say it generally. High table, please be seated. The rest of us, at your comfort, the chairs that are there are really as and when you need, but we thought, DPF being young and vibrant, we're very full of exercises, so we thought we should keep you on your toes to keep the sector stable. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and very welcome to this ceremony. I'd like to first of all start off by, again, appreciating and thanking all of you who have joined us for this day. Our chief guest today, ladies and gentlemen, is the Honorable Minister of Finance, who has sent a representative here, but I'll not go into the detail. I'll reserve that for my CEO. On my part and on behalf of the team at the Deposit Protection Fund, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you in your respective capacities. In the same vein, I also recognize that we are a few minutes behind schedule, and I'll simply want to give you a run of show that this morning we assembled here basically to witness one key activity, the launch of. It's going to be, as I mentioned earlier, a very precise and succinct event, taking into account and fully aware that all of us here have quite a number of engagements, and that's why we appreciate your presence here. My name is Patrick Ezaga. I head Communications Department in the Deposit Protection Fund, and as a result of that, we would like to try and recover the few minutes. While we're here, of course, this is an eminent team of our guests. I don't need to overemphasize that the times are still not very clear with regard to the pandemic, so as much as possible, let us remain observant of the SOPs. The team you see in black suits and purple ties, these are the staff of the Deposit Protection Fund for the males, and those in black dresses or with the gold scarf, they are also staff of the fund, and the reason I'm introducing them to you is so that in case you need any help of whatever nature, please feel very free to beckon any one of them. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to immediately proceed to the next level, and which is going to be the remarks we are receiving on this occasion. And starting this off will be none other than the CEO of the Deposit Protection Fund, Madam Julia. You're very welcome to the podium on my right. You are setting the ball rolling. This is your day. You've been around, you've seen this institution grow. I think this is a good time for you to share with our stakeholders, the financial institutions and our guests, where we have come from, what the journey has been. In a special way, ladies and gentlemen, for those who can, please join me to welcome the CEO to make her remarks. We welcome, Madam.
Thank you very much, Patrick. Allow me to remove my mask so that I can be audible. The Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, the Permanent Secretary, Secretary to the Treasury, or his representative, the Governor, Bank of Uganda, the Auditor General, the Solicitor General, members of the Financial Sector Stability Forum, chief executives of contributing institutions, executive directors and directors from the Bank of Uganda, the chairman, members of the DPF board here present, senior management, and the staff of the DPF, distinguished guests in your respective capacities, ladies and gentlemen, I warmly welcome you all to this occasion at which we officially commission the DPF office premises. permit me to wish each of you a happy new 2022. In a special way, I invite you to join me in welcoming our chief guest, the Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Sir, we are especially pleased that you have made time to grace this occasion, which is a key milestone for the fund. Today is indeed a special day for us at the fund. Special because it's the maiden day when we assemble with all stakeholders, especially the contributing institutions. I would like at this moment to welcome all of you, the contributing institutions, to what we should now be calling our office. We have worked on this together with you. Honorable Minister, from the initial toddler steps taken since the operationalization process commenced in 2017, the fund has attained maturity and can now handle all its operations in-house. What we assembled to commission today started off as a very humble office at the Bank of Uganda. Through its mentorship, the Bank of Uganda has indeed instilled into the fund the ethos of integrity, transparency, and efficiency in service delivery. Indeed, this is in tandem with our African proverb, which says, "A child is what you put into him or her." Permit me, Honorable Minister, at this point to immensely appreciate the Governor and the staff of Bank of Uganda for holding the hand of the fund right from inception and steering it to where it is now. The support extended by the Bank of Uganda has been immeasurable. We can only say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, DPF has been on a steady growth trajectory. As our minister likes to say, we are moving like that, in that direction. Indeed, it is a pleasure to share with you some of the major milestones that have been achieved over the 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to report that the fund size has increased from around 473 billion in June 2017, when we started the operationalization process, to $1 trillion as I speak now. As you're all aware, the deposit insurance limit was increased from 3 million to 10 million, and at this limit, 19 million deposit accounts are fully protected by the Deposit Insurance Fund out of the 19.4 million total accounts in the sector. It means the Deposit Protection Fund is fully covering 98% of all the deposit accounts in the sector as I speak now. Regulations to operationalize the DPF were put in place in 2019, paving way for the recruitment of the staff, the beautiful staff that you're seeing around. The staff went through a rigorous recruitment process, including interviews by the board. Each of these staff was interviewed by the board themselves. I'm happy to note that the process was very transparent, and the fund has recruited the best brains from the market. The staff count now stands at 47, up from the 5 staff who started the operationalization process in 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that depositors are paid fast, in that unlikely event that their financial institution is closed for outright liquidation, the Deposit Protection Fund has implemented an IT payout system. This system has been commissioned and is ready for rollout to the contributing institutions. With this system, we shall be able to get almost real-time data from the banks on the deposit balances held, and this will help us monitor our deposit liability on a regular basis. It will also help us prepare in good time to be able to pay the depositors as fast as possible in that unlikely event. Just to emphasize that that ability to pay fast is crucial if we're to maintain confidence in the sector in that unlikely event of bank closures. Ladies and gentlemen, after putting in place a communications policy and the accompanying procedures, the fund embarked on massive public awareness campaigns. I know you will agree with me that more Ugandans are now aware about the Deposit Protection Fund. The fund obtained a tax exemption for its income, and effective July 2021, DPF has ceased to pay withholding tax on the income that it receives from its investments in treasury bills and bonds. This has and will continue to boost fund growth. The fund has entered into a number of strategic agreements with the sister deposit insurance entities, what we call MOUs, and through these arrangements, our staff have benefited a lot through information sharing and indeed capacity building. Honorable Minister, you will recall that in 2019 you graced our occasion where we hosted the first ever deposit insurance conference in Uganda. This conference was attended by a number of participants, both within Africa and beyond. And Honorable Minister, I must say that with this conference, the DPF and indeed Uganda attained more recognition within Africa and beyond. Honorable Minister, it is not a common occurrence to have this number of contributing institutions in one place like it is the case today. I'm glad to inform you that the contributing institutions have continued to pay their premiums on time. Honorable Minister, the institutions have also supported the drive of the fund and indeed the Bank of Uganda to ensure that customer deposit records are updated with a national ID number and alternative modes of payment. And as I indicated, we are working on an IT system, and I'm pleased to point out that 3 of the contributing institutions have been very active in this project, and I must allow me to name them. That is Pride Microfinance, ABSA, and Finance Trust Bank. You have actively participated, and we appreciate this. Honorable Minister, there is a saying, this speech is full of sayings, but this should be the last saying. There is a saying that a boat cannot go forward if each of the persons row in their own direction. I'm happy to say that we have rowed the boat together with the contributing institutions. Permit me, therefore, Honorable Minister, to take the opportunity to thank all the contributing institutions for the support they have given to the DPF. Honorable Minister, the fund is grateful for the support received from your ministry, especially the exemption of withholding tax on our income. However, there are a few areas where we humbly continue to request for your usual support. One is putting in place a standalone DPF law. We are currently working on this, working on a regulatory impact assessment, and Minister, this report should be coming to your office anytime now. Minister, the second point is the need for us to finalize a framework to support government to finance the DPF in that unlikely event that we need the money. And I must stress that this sort of funding would only be called upon in case of a national financial crisis. Otherwise, the DPF is well funded to pay depositors in normal times. Honorable Minister, we earnestly seek your support and wise counsel to enable the fund achieve the above very critical requests. Once attained, They shall form the bedrock for the sustained growth of the fund and indeed sustained financial sector stability. Honorable Minister, I would like to conclude by once again thanking you for honoring our invitation to grace this memorable event. We also thank you for renewing the term of the board members well within time. This will ensure continuity of the fund's operations into the next 5 years. To our contributing institutions, we thank you immensely for joining us despite your very busy schedules. We know that you're always looking at the bottom line, your profits, but you have taken that time to be with us, and we're very grateful. Together, I am confident that we shall grow the fund to become a top deposit insurance entity, not only in East Africa, but indeed in Africa. On behalf of management, I thank all our stakeholders who have been able to spare time to be with us today. To our neighbors, the tenants at AHA Towers, we thank you for allowing us to use this venue for the event. We know there has been some inconvenience on your part, but you have accepted our request, and now we are happy to be here today. Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, I take exception to appreciate the founding board of directors, which has been professionally chaired by Mr. Ben Patrick Kagoro. Obugalo. In the same vein, I thank my 10 colleagues who ventured into the unknown and accepted to be seconded by the Bank of Uganda to start the challenging journey of establishing the fund. Obugalo. I also wish to warmly welcome our new staff who have recently joined the fund. The task ahead is huge. However, I'm confident that with the caliber of staff that we have recruited, the fund is going to achieve even much more. Honorable Minister, it is now my singular honor to invite Mr. Ben Patrick Kagoro, the board chairperson, to deliver his remarks. I thank you and wish you all good health. For God and my country.
Julia is an inch taller. I'm still growing, so I'll soon be taller than her. Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome. In Africa, and I think and believe the world at large, when you start a new home or you build your own house or you move into another house, you call friends, you call your parents, and all well-wishers to come and see your new place and to officially open it. They say in Africa that lest you get haunted, and you open your doors to everybody and the people around you, the neighbors and the friends, to come and share with you that new shelter that you have. And that's why mainly we are here. But that said, Honorable Minister, ably represented by none other than Mr. Moses Kagwa. You are growing, like we said. Yes, you will fit in those shoes very soon. That is part of succession planning. Thank you very much. The Permanent Secretary, Secretary to the Treasury, the Governor Bank of Uganda, the Auditor General, the Solicitor General, members of the Financial Sector Stability, the executive officers of contributing institutions. We forgot one person, very important person here, Haji, Kalinaki, and I must say, we are a deposit protection fund. In a way, we are also an insurance company. we do things jointly, but in different directions. So the executive officers of the contributing institutions, executive directors and directors of Bank of Uganda present here, members of the Deposit Protection Fund, my colleagues, senior management of the fund, distinguished ladies and gentlemen in your respective capacities. It is indeed befitting for me to add my voice to what the CEO has said, to warmly welcome you in your respective capacities on this occasion. As a board, which I'm going to introduce later, this day comes as a pleasant New Year gift and is the culmination of collective effort of all the DPF stakeholders, because without the wider stakeholders will not be here. I'm confident that my colleagues in the board would agree with you entirely and agree with me when I state that we have looked forward to this day with a lot of joy and delight. Honorable Minister, permit me to commence my brief remarks on a rather personal note by thanking you for reappointing the board for another term. You have reassigned me to chair the team of a very eminent, distinguished, and committed professional members to serve for the next 5 years, effective end of February. As we prepare to steer the fund into the future, allow me to introduce the pioneer board members who have overseen the operations of the fund up to this point. Number one, we'll start with one, not in any particular order, is Mr. Solomon Okecho. I will introduce him later as he gives the speech for the governor. Council Mrs. Roy Nambogo. Where are you? She represents the public. We have Mr. Ike John Yarhanga. He represents the PSST. And is our chair, is our chair audit committee. A very tough one. Mr. Andrew Doxon, no, sorry, I'm very sorry. I'm glad that he got a PhD. He has continued to enhance his capacity in the market. He recently attained a PhD. Now we call him Dr. Andrew Obara. He's representing the contributing institutions. Then we have our gentle giant, Mr. Wilbrod Humphrey Owori. He represents the contributing institutions, and he's the chair of our technical committee, having a lot of experience and institutional memory where the sectors come from. Then we have an educationist, Mr. Emmanuel Kalemam Soke. He represents the public. Okay? So on behalf of my colleagues, I must say we remain committed to performing our tasks with utmost diligence, zeal, and tenacity. Mr. Guest of Honor, sir, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as the pioneer chairman of the DPF board, I cannot help but ponder on where this long journey started. As already mentioned, we kicked off in a humble way, having been housed at the Bank of Uganda premises. In its nascent stage, a lot of support was received from the central bank, including the staff who were seconded to start the fund from scratch. And like the CEO said, we are eternally grateful to the Bank of Uganda, the governor, the deputy governor, and the board. I remember when I was appointed as chair, I didn't know where to start without the staff I walked into the governor's office. I say, we don't have any policy in the paper how to recruit staff, but you have done it before. I need a formidable team to start operationalizing the fund. He was very kind and asked for proposals, and that's the 5 staff we had, and eventually raised to 11 and 15, but currently we are 47. We are sort of standing on our feet, and we are improving. As has been highlighted by the CEO, the fund has posted a number of achievements over the past 5 years. Nevertheless, the task ahead remains challenging as well as exciting. It is against this background that the board has already put in place a strategic plan. We had a retreat recently to look ahead for the next 5 years. And that is 2022 and 2025. During this period, we plan to accomplish a number of tasks, but I will highlight a few. One, we will continue to work towards having a standalone DPF law. Already the CEO has mentioned this. This will allow us to participate in financing the resolution of challenged banks so that they exit the banking sector in an orderly manner. Even if they don't exit, should they have maybe some challenges, we can work out a way of liquidity management and maybe bailing them out at a reasonable interest.
We'll put in place processes and structures to manage the timely liquidation of contributing institutions as mandated under the Financial Institutions Act 2004. We will reach out to the grassroots to create public awareness on the roles of the DPF and encourage the population to place their savings in regulated financial institutions. This will ultimately contribute to enhancing confidence in the financial system and spur financial inclusion across the country. When we started, I don't remember the exact number, but we were just a few million people with accounts in the banks. Below 5 million currently, we are almost hitting 20 million. We'll finalize the funding framework with the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development in the likely event that we are short of funds and we have to pay, especially in the event of a systemic financial crisis. We'll continue to invest using our own staff as we move forward. We'll invest in the management system, we'll invest the funds, we are building capacity to manage the entire portfolio and manage it in-house. Because this will eliminate costs of paying fund managers and boost fund growth. We'll continue to build the eco-friendly office premises, as you have seen, for the DPF, which will not only house the operations of the fund, but will accommodate the need of the fund as it positions itself to gradually evolve into a deposit insurance hub for the East African region and beyond. When I talked to the minister, said, okay, you want me to come to open the office? Is it your own building? I said, Honorable Minister, we are still crawling, but we are renting. As soon as we build ours, we will call you again, and we are looking to that day. So, Honorable Minister, sir, the above are some of the tasks we have set out to achieve in the foreseeable future. We are confident that with your support and collaboration from our stakeholders and other stakeholders, these tasks will be ultimately achieved. And we are grateful that you have always set time aside to meet us. At the beginning, you are meeting us every month, then quarterly, then at least twice a year. And we are grateful for that you set time aside to listen to us. Allow me at this point, Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, as I wrap up, that once again to thank the Honorable Minister for being here today and ably represented by Mr. Moses Kagwa. I must add that you recently hosted the DPF board at your office, for our routine biannual engagements. The fact that you are able to make time shortly after demonstrates the importance you accord to the fund. We do not take this for granted. And to all our invited guests, we appreciate that you are here with us to witness this historic event. Honorable Minister, with those remarks, I would like now to take the honor to invite the Governor Bank of Uganda, represented by our board member, and Mr. Solomon Okecho represents the governor on the board because the governor is a board member. He's a specialist in HR. He chairs our governance committee and he has done a tremendous job. He's very passionate about career development, about developing skills within the staff, and we're really grateful. Other than that, on his side, that's why we have an eco-friendly office. He's the chairman of all the foresters in Uganda. He's a man making sure that people are growing trees, and that is very important for us in the sustainability of the environment. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Is a little lower. That should be okay. The Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, the Permanent Secretary and Secretary to Treasury, the Auditor General, the Solicitor General, members of the Financial Sector Stability Forum, Chief Executive Officers of contributing institutions or their representatives present here, my chairman and members of the board of the DPF, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Minister, the Governor, Professor Emmanuel Tumusiime Mutebile, and his deputy, Dr. Michael Atingego, had wanted to be here to witness this occasion themselves. However, due to circumstances beyond our control, they asked me to do the needful. Accordingly, Honorable Minister, allow me to proceed and deliver the Governor's statement. It is a pleasure for me to be part of this important occasion. I join the CEO and board chairman of the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda to welcome you to this event. I also recognize and appreciate the presence of the contributing institutions and other stakeholders who have made time to be here today. Honorable Minister, reference has been made to the role that Bank of Uganda, BOU, has played in nurturing the DPF. It is the joy of any parent to see their child grow to maturity. It is even of greater joy to have a child that is responsible and responsive to parental guidance. I can state, ladies and gentlemen, without any fear of contradiction, that the board, CEO, and the team heeds good advice. They heed to good advice. The team at Bank of Uganda is a proud parent today after seeing that the efforts put in to grow the institution have borne fruit in many ways. The commissioning of these offices is but just one of those. Ladies and gentlemen, financial sector stability lies at the heart of BOU's mandate. Hence, deliberate steps were taken by the bank to help establish the DPF, to take care of the interests of the depositors of closed banks. Securing the interests of depositors at all times is crucial for building and sustaining public confidence in the financial sector. Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, starting up any venture comes with unique challenges. Permit me at this point to recognize and appreciate your personal stewardship through your regular meetings with the board. I thank the first DPF board and the pioneer team of staff led by Mrs. Julia Oyet, the CEO, for their steadfast commitment to overcoming the inevitable initial challenges associated with new beginnings. Correct identification of prevailing hurdles was a plus, but formulating appropriate remedies was even more crucial. For it is said that wrong diagnosis is bound to lead to wrong prescriptions. What we are witnessing today, coupled with the growth of the fund, is a prima facie evidence that the team, the board, and management did a good job both at diagnosis and prescription levels. Ladies and gentlemen, I will also take a moment to thank the contributing institutions for their commendable efforts and consistent contributions to the fund. Institutions have continued to work hard in ensuring that depositors' records are updated in line with the single customer view aspirations. It is worth noting that the banking sector in Uganda has been largely stable despite the effects of COVID-19 pandemic. The contributing institutions have taken a proactive approach to resolve any potentially harmful occurrences in the sector, working closely with BOU. Achieving macroeconomic stability requires a concerted effort of many players, financial institutions taking the center stage. It is through the DPF that stable and sound financial institutions ensure that primary stakeholders, the depositors, retain confidence in the banking sector, especially during uncertain times. Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, the management of the DPF deserve a commendation for registering several achievements in a relatively short period. And this is despite the unusual teething challenges faced in setting up an institution from the scratch. The fund deserves a congratulatory pat on the back for milestones that have been achieved to date. I am informed about the cordial working relationship that exists between the board and management. And therein, ladies and gentlemen, lies the secret to success. I dare say that excellent governance of the DPF may have motivated you, Honorable Minister, to renew the term of the current board. I congratulate the board members for being reappointed. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to endorse the strategic plan of the DPF as we can see some of the major pillars in this room. It is vital for the DPF to grow the fund size, to buttress its capacity to respond to any distress that may emerge in the sector. Also, the fund needs to have a substantive dedicated legal framework, given its importance as a backstop of financial sector stability. Progressively, and in response to emerging issues, the mandate of the fund is likely to evolve, as has been seen in other jurisdictions with more advanced deposit insurance systems. Certainly, the DPF will be strengthened in the pursuit of its mandate by harnessing its working relationship with the central bank. Accordingly, Honourable Minister, an appropriate memorandum of understanding is firmly in place for guiding the sustainable relationship between BOU and the DPF. Honourable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, let me reiterate that the BOU remains firmly focused on creating and maintaining an enabling environment for the financial sector in the country. We shall continue working with the DPF and other stakeholders to develop the financial sector so that it contributes effectively to inclusive economic development and the socio-economic transformation of our country. Let me conclude by once again extending hearty congratulations to the DPF upon this key milestone. Kudos to the financial institutions for their resilience and maintaining compliance with their obligations during these uncertain times. I wish you all good health in this difficult time of COVID-19 pandemic, and please stay safe, heed the COVID-19 containment SOPs, and by all means get vaccinated against COVID-19. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to invite you, Honourable Minister, to deliver your address. This is written by Professor Emmanuel Tumusiime Mutebile, Governor, Bank of Uganda. Thank you.
These are not my remarks, but they are the remarks of the Honourable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development during the official commissioning of the Office of the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda. The Governor, Bank of Uganda, the Permanent Secretary, Secretary of Treasury, the Auditor General, the Solicitor General, members of the Financial Sector Stability Forum, Chief Executive Officers of contributing institutions, Executive Directors and Directors, Bank of Uganda, Chairman and members of the DPF Board, the CEO, management and staff of DPF, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please receive my warm salutations and best wishes. ensuring that depositors are not only protected, but also to strengthen depositors' confidence in the financial sector. This is what led to the birth of the Deposit Protection Fund as a standalone institution. The previous setup, where the fund was managed and housed by the Bank of Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, today marks an important milestone in the journey of the Deposit Protection Fund because the fund has come of age and is now able to operate. In the initial stages, lack of sufficient and conducive working space was a hindrance in the operations of the fund. In a special way, please join me in congratulating the Board of Directors of the fund, chaired by Mr. Ben Patrick Agoro, for successfully recruiting a team of professional, enthusiastic, and committed staff who are now well accommodated in the office space we have commissioned today. I also take this opportunity to appreciate the tireless efforts of the pioneer team of staff led by the CEO, Mrs. Julie Claire Olima Oyet, for remaining steadfast and focused on seeing the fund grow to where it is today. I'm aware that starting up any venture always comes with the initial teething problems, but this team was able to weather the storm and still focused at safeguarding the fund to ensure financial sector stability. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to fully comprehend and appreciate the magnitude of the fund, I would like to re-echo a few of the very commendable statistics of the fund. One, the fund size has increased from Uganda shillings 473 billion in June 2017 to over 1 trillion as at September 2021. Out of the 19.4 million deposit accounts in the financial sector, the fund currently fully protects deposit balances held in 19 million accounts. Fully. You know, in the previous times when the banks would collapse, Bank of Uganda would come to Ministry of Finance to pay the depositors. So we had to get money from the budget and pay the depositors. This is now history because more than 90% of the deposits are covered by the Deposit Protection Fund. Staff size has increased from 5 when the fund was operationalized in 2017 to now 47. Indeed, the fund is steadily moving in the right direction. It is for this reason that government remains committed to nurturing this vital institution to its full maturity. Despite the registered success in the past 5 years, there are some bottlenecks we ought to address to enhance the fund's performance. Notable among these, one, putting in place an enabling regulatory environment through a standalone DPF law. 2, developing a framework to enable the DPF access funding from government in the event of financial crisis. I would like to assure you that government is committed, together with all of you, to address these issues given their strategic relevance to financial sector stability. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot refer to the importance of depositors without mentioning and recognizing the vital role of contributing institutions. The 25 commercial banks, 5 credit institutions, and 4 microfinance deposit-taking institutions regulated by Bank of Uganda. It is in order to accord them an applause for the critical function that they continue to play in ensuring the financial sector stability. The interventions and actions of DPF in enhancing depositor confidence has had a direct impact and benefit on contributing institutions, since having confidence depositors translates to more accounts and volumes of transactions, hence boosting financial inclusion. The citizenry should be consistently encouraged to move their money to the formal financial institutions. Therein lies the congenial relationship between the fund and the contributing institutions, in addition to the annual remittances made to the fund. It is therefore a pleasure that you could make time to be here to witness the commissioning of your office. Our gathering today has been the result of concerted efforts of various stakeholders, both within government ministries, departments and agencies, and the private sector. I wish to take this opportunity to thank all the ministries, departments and agencies and the financial sector players for your respective roles you have played to support the fund to where it is. I specifically appreciate the Bank of Uganda for the parenting role played by hand-holding the fund and steering it through the formative stages. To all the institutions that have collaborated with and supported the fund, I can only say thank you. Let me now turn to the staff of the fund who are very smart, especially the new team that recently joined the institution in different capacities. Congratulations for emerging top among the candidates. Your predecessors, the pioneer team of staff, were able to achieve so much in a relatively short time span and with fewer numbers. It is therefore not far-fetched to assert that with the new team in place, supported by experienced pioneer groups, we can only expect greater achievements. The ball is in your courts to carry the DPF banner high. I share the trust and confidence that the board had in selecting you for the different positions. As I commission the Deposit Protection Fund offices today, I would like to restate the challenge I gave to the board and management of the fund during the last meeting, and to encourage you to work towards achieving a permanent office space of your own. This, no doubt, is more cost-effective in the long run and comes with long-term benefits. It is pleasing to note, too, that our focus is to make the DPF the leading deposit insurance institution in the region. It is therefore my honor to officially commission the Deposit Protection Fund office on 3rd floor, AHA Towers, for God and my country. Signed, Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Thank you for listening to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for I can see that the minister did a good job in identifying who to delegate. You were on point, you delivered his speech, and that is it. Thank you very much, sir. We have experienced situations where a few pages can be added, but I think that's being very professional, and we'd like to appreciate you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, with those remarks, surely we are getting to the climax of this day, as we appreciate the fact that the exercise we subjected you to has really been sufficient. We now need to move to a wrap, and as per our program, Honorable Guest of Honor, we now go to cut the cake for this day. You know, a party without a cake in many ways gets watered down. We have the cake cutting, which is going to be done in 3 clusters very quickly. The cake team, I hope you're there. Chief guest, sir, I'll request that the first cake will be cut by the 4 of you. The same cake you cut, and then thereafter I'll invite the board chair and your team of members. You also come and cut for purposes of our cameras, and then the members of the financial sector safety net, the forum, will also come and cut. After that, we'll sing the national anthem, and we'll then go into group photos of different sessions for those of you who can be here. So may I request the team, guest of honor, sir, if you may just rise with your team, down, the knife, wherever it is. After this, Mr. Chairman, you will then invite your members to cut a congratulatory cake. You know, it's not easy to have a term of office renewed without much hiccups. That's usually a measure of the efficiency that you have had as a team for the entire group to be returned unscathed and injured. To our CIs, the community institutions, we thank you very much. Please don't go away yet. We are now wrapping up. After this photo session, the cake cutting session, we just do a few photos and we should be able to call it a day. So you'll cut the big one in the middle first to symbolize the office, the launch of the office, guest of honor, and your team. Let me see, since 2016, how many years are those? About 4, 5? All right, those are 5 years. So we will count, each of you is cutting the big middle one. That is the office that we plan to build, the one you asked us to build. It will look like that. On a count of 5 to 3. 5, 4, 3, cut. There were people expecting me to reach 0, but we have to be different. Thank you very much for that. May I now request, guest of honor, sir, you may comfortably resume your seat. Chair and your board members, you are cutting next. Mr. Chairman, Chairman and the board members, as the CEO takes our guest of honor back, and then the members of the financial sector who are here. Insurance Regulatory Authority, UBRA, Financial Intelligence Authority, Uganda Microfinance Regulatory. Please come through. Ladies and gentlemen, the next team is the group of board members whose term of office has just been extended. And since you have just got another 5 years, let's count 5 downwards. Ready? We go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, deliver. Congratulations. CEO and my guests may now join the representatives of the other financial sector players. We have Insurance Regulatory Authority, UBRA, FIA, the representatives, IRA, UBRA, FIA, UBRA. Please join the CEO for this next session as we move towards the wrap. This team, ladies and gentlemen, are the team that ensures that the sector is stable. We would like to thank you for joining us on this day and all the patience. For you, we shall count 7 and stop on 4 when we're ready. 7 to 4. Ready, we go. 7, 6, 5, 4. Deliver.
It's our mission to secure your money. We are responsible. We pay for bank that's been closed.
Guest of honor, sir, I have been advised that we shall make the sharing of the cake a bit informal, that we can actually formally wrap with an anthem. And with your permission, sir, this is what we propose happens while the ladies partake of the cake and cut it. Guest of honor will invite you to symbolically release some helium balloons to signify growth for the institution. Each of you, our guests, has been given a balloon. After closing with the national anthem, please don't go away if you have to. We'll just step out a little bit and release the balloons as a sign of the future and a bright growth for the fund. Then we can come back and take some more juice and some coffee and the rest of it. So may I request that you please rise for those who are seated for the anthems. Let's rise for the anthems. As I said, after the anthems, we'll then go to release the balloons in the sky. Thank you very much for the formal closing part. May I now request us to just step on the open air there with your balloons in the air. We go and release to a bright future. For each of you, our contributing stations, our stakeholders, let's hope your balloon flies upwards. If it comes down, we may read otherwise. So we shall see whose balloon comes down. We have also arranged a package for our guests who have come as the photos are being taken. Each of you who is invited, there is a small package that DPF has arranged to thank you for having joined us. And therefore, as we proceed to release the balloons, the cake team, I expect you to be splitting it soon after, and then we call it wrap. But otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a very lovely morning. I would like to thank you for all the patience. We appreciate each and every one of you who was able to stand with us. So may you just join the guests. Ushers, please lead the way into the open arena as Crane Performance arranges to witness this. Ushers, where are you? Where are the helium balloons, guys? Please usher the guests to the open space on the left. Let's go to the left, there's more space. There is more space on the left. If you do it under the tent, it may not go far. All right, ladies and gentlemen, whoever is holding a balloon, this is not a toast, but this is a wish, this is a proposal to the success of all the financial institutions in this country, to the success of the Deposit Protection Fund. Together, we symbolically release these balloons to head to the sky, so that the sky is the limit when it comes to managing finances in this country. Hip, hip, hooray, please release your balloons. If your balloon falls down, we see where the future is. The helium balloons, whose has gone up? I saw the one of DPF CEO going to the air. Now we can partake of the cake. As we invite you, our guests, to please come and pick a small package. The ushering team, focus on the invited guests. Each of them should receive a small package. Well managed, our invited guests. May we deliver for, it's a simple, humble package in appreciation. Meanwhile, the cake is still being distributed as well. Please enjoy the cake. And as far as I'm concerned, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a lovely morning. Thank you very, very much for having been with us. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the day. Safe journey back. Crane, may you give us 2 minutes, just 2 minutes for an interview with the minister. Kindly mute a little bit. We're asking for only 2 minutes, Crane. There is a short interview with the minister by the press. If you could kindly just tone down a bit. Thank you very much. Weekly observer. You guys do a lot of observation. And you can balance. Yes. My dear invited guests, those of you who are here, please pick a gift. Sorry, proceed.